Here is a breakdown of the key devices that Brecht used in his work. All of these are techniques that created his style of epic theatre. They would alienate the audience, and they would often incorporate gestus. Fourth wall breaks. In theatre, you have the action, and you have the audience. The fourth wall is the imaginary wall between these two. It's a conceptual barrier dividing the action and the audience. Brecht didn't conform to this naturalistic idea and would continually break the fourth wall by speaking directly to the audience. That way, they weren't just observers, but they were actively engaged, active participants in the world of the play. The audience are not comfortable and distant, they're provoked and actively engaged in the story and what's going on throughout. Narration. A narrator is a definite reminder to the audience that they are watching a story. This reduces the risk of the audience simply being emotionally involved in the story and its characters, and instead makes them analyse and consider the messages of the play. Often a narrator would describe the events of an upcoming scene. This would remove any dramatic surprises or twists in the narrative and instead make the audience focus on the lead up to what happens and analyse why and how it happens and what could be done differently. Signs, placards, and written text. Text written on cards, placards, or banners was often used to describe the pictures on stage. This was not only economical and cost-effective storytelling, but also concise and thought-provoking. Information in text form wasn't just to describe something, it would help deepen the audience's understanding of what's happening. This might be a scene setting like this, a road outside town. Or it might be other context information like this. It might even be information about a specific character on stage, about their life, or what they're thinking or feeling at a specific moment. In most contemporary theatre, this idea has evolved into video design and multimedia, instead of handwritten words or information on placards. Third person. This is when an actor comes out of role on stage and they comment on the character or on the action. It's a jarring reminder that we're watching a play and reduces the audience's rising temptation to engage emotionally and empathise with the characters, rather than considering and thinking about the social or political issues in the play. An example of this in one of Brecht's plays is in the Caucasian Chalk Circle, when Grusha and Simon refer to each other as the young lady and the soldier. Speaking the stage directions. Again, another way of alienating the audience is to have the actors speaking the stage directions. This makes the audience focus on and prioritise the action of the scene. It gives the physical events of the scene focus and emphasis. For example, in Mother Courage and Her Children by Brecht, each scene opens with a summary of the events in the scene. This description could be fully spoken out loud by the actors, as well as this following stage direction describing the scene. Multi-rolling and split roles. This is when an actor plays multiple characters, or when multiple actors play the same character at different parts in the play. These devices are designed to remind the audience that they are watching a play. Watching actors portray these characters is a deterrent for them not to get immersed in the realism of them. By doing this, we are shedding naturalistic portrayals of truth and instead showing what the characters are like. This is all in aid of the audience studying the characteristics, the actions of the character, their motives, and what could be done differently. Scene changes. One of Brecht's most famous scenic innovations was a thing called a half curtain. This was a white sheet that was hung on wire across the front of the stage, not dissimilar from a large bed sheet on a washing line. It would be drawn across the stage in between each scene. Sometimes text was projected onto it, or an actor would stand in front of it and sing a song. Its purpose was to cut across the illusion of the previous scene and wipe the slate clean before the next one, a bit like a little reset, and another way of alienating the audience. Actors involved practically. Actors would set props and scenery and make costume changes in full view of the audience. This was to remind the audience that they're watching something that's only provisional and a gesture towards illusion. But more importantly, it helped symbolically and literally demonstrate a world on stage that was easily capable of change. A vivid use of this in contemporary theatre was in the play The Audience at the Nuffield Theatre, Southampton. Faye Castlelow, who played the Queen, had her costume changes choreographed and made in full view of the audience. Bright lighting. Brecht loved using bright white light. These are some contemporary examples of Brecht's style of bright white light. He used it because it made the work appear clear, striking, and ready to be dissected, like a human body in an operating theatre. Brecht used large white cycloramas as canvases and even used car headlights to illuminate the stage. This short poem by Brecht encapsulates his thoughts on lighting. Give us some light on the stage, electrician. How can we playwrights and actors put forward our images of the world in half darkness? The dim twilight induces sleep, but we need the audience's wakeful, even watchfulness. He also wanted the lighting apparatus to be visible to the audience, removing any attempt at creating illusion. Brecht had a curious interest with sporting events and stated that no one would expect the lighting to be hidden at a sporting event, a boxing match, for instance. Music. Brecht loved music and used it a lot in his work. It drives the narrative on while simultaneously interrupting the flow of the action in the scene changes. The styles of music were predominantly jazz, folk, and classical, and the words or lyrics of his songs took priority over beautiful singing. He was insistent that the songs are separate from the action of the play and instead be presented as musical numbers. And there we go, several Brecht devices that he used throughout his work. Thanks for watching. If this video helped you, please give it a like, do check out these other videos and subscribe, and if you want to support what I do on the channel, you can click on the link in the video description. All the best.